Hi everybody, as you read from the title, I am doing another closed caption video. I have a lot of stuff. I don't know if I'll get through all of it, we'll see. And what I decided to show is just, I have a shoebox full of greeting cards and postcards that have been sent to me most of them are mine. There are a few I've picked up in antique stores over the years. A lot of them are older. They're just cards and postcards. No holidays, I don't think. Okay, so there's one. So we'll start with my name. Diane. We have the ham. I don't think so, but I don't know. Bam. Stand. And I'm. Good time. I can't. And darn. Then I said, hi everybody, it's Diane. It came out foreign, the word foreign. And I went through a cycle there where they kept doing that. So I'm assuming they mean they couldn't decipher it. It's foreign. I don't know. They don't tell you anything. I said, I don't know, Diane. It came out, I had another thing. Boy, Diane came out point and. Diane was very, came out dinosaur. Good. Okay, I said, I do. They printed, you didn't. I said, can you? They printed, you could. I've said this a million times. I don't understand if they don't understand that I said, can you? Why are they coming up with you could? I don't get it. I haven't bought any. They printed, I'm buying. Which is the same thing. I don't understand that. I mean, they must have picked up on the word buy, right? Bought, buy. I don't understand. Almost came out, it sounds. This is a card. Wonder if theirs came out like this. Is there anything? Came out sorry thing. Or is it came out versus, as in the Cubs versus the Reds, something like that. Groucho Marx says, came out garage remarks. So you're gossiping in your garage. You have garage remarks. Inked the edges. Ain't that it? And that's exactly why I go to all the trouble to correct this stuff. I don't want somebody thinking I said, ain't that it? Gesso came out Jason. 5-hole came out eyeball. Neither is the bottom. They printed Guys the Bomb. Church bells came out church pills. Okay, next page. Character on the Dick Van Dyke Show, Millie Helper, I mentioned, came out smelly helper. Laugh was wave. All right, here's a long one. This wouldn't go on here, would it? Is what I said. And they changed it to sort of go on here with it. Okay, I guess it's kind of close. I don't know. That's the only. They printed ceiling. Knew what? They printed went. Is that a lab? As in Labrador Retriever. Is that a lab? They printed so bad. The more I, and they printed all right. This one's cute. This hat actually comes out of the little hat box. Isn't that cute? I said petty fours. which, okay. And it came out metaphors. Hot mitts came out hot mess. Oh, I didn't came out I want to. Okay. Vaudeville came out vlog Phil. Printed came out burnt and. Okay. I went around came out I want to run. You fold. They printed he folded. They're changing my whole plot here. I don't get it. The word light, they printed the word sleep. Will cut, they printed woke up. You know a hem, comma, cuffs, I said. So I said, you know a hem, cuffs. They printed Yohems, Y-O-H-E-M apostrophe S, cubs. Whatever the world that is. Their pants, I said. They printed the pizzas. Get, the word get, they printed look at. Notebook, they printed up with. So you have, they printed see if. This is actually supposed to be a bookmark, but I have it in here. An inch and they printed mention. Flip throughs were slippers. Baked, they just printed a lowercase b. Aprons, this one opens all the way out. Aprons were weapons. So I said my mom didn't really wear weapons. That's nice. And she didn't. See, they printed do. See it gets, they printed so you could see. Begin, they said speaking. How do you get speaking from begin? It sounds nothing like it. Rip roarin', Rick born. That one's closer. Inchies give, they printed and she's giving. You sound, they printed so I'm. Seed catalog, they printed a C and an I, C-I. Could, they printed 'cause I can. Kind of cool, I don't think, whatever I was saying, they printed kind of I don't cool. How do you scramble stuff up like that? I don't understand. Still haven't, they printed silver. They don't, they printed still staying. Those look good. And their translation was, that was not good. Thanks. Thanks a lot. I would, they printed if we. It is, I don't know, I said. And they printed, is I it know. A pig, they printed opaque. Isn't it, I would, they printed, isn't it? They just, the I would just wasn't even there. I don't know what they're doing. That's when I was pretty young. And they printed, this one was pretty God. This one was pretty God. Now admit. And they write, now we admit it. I mean, come on. I mentioned this once before where they get paid by the word. Wet paper towel. They put in white paper towel. Funny was fine. It dawned on. They printed it's on. Okay. How about, and they printed I'll have that. That's not close. I'm not starting, and they print I'm gonna start. So they totally flipped what I was saying, and then they put in the word gonna to make me sound, real posh, right? I went into I'm not going to. Fussy cut, and they put classy straight. Flowers was 4 hours. The word wet, they changed to typically. So we're back to adding syllables. I said eek, no, and they printed egg now. Oh, cut out, could have. Seems like, see what? All right, where was I? I did that. Now we're getting through this faster than I thought. Isn't that cute? And they printed the word snacky, which I don't think is a word. A scrapbook, craftable. Did I? They printed today. Well, do we? I only. Darn, that's the end. Dawn, day, the end. One of those they printed most. The word anyone, they printed I would. This little girl, they printed local. Green, and they printed this is green. Okay, adding more words. My, and they printed the word or the name Molly. Until I go, and they printed it's like. Maybe a little spatter, and they printed be a little spider. Oh, that fits. And they printed I don't love this. Okay. Do we want? And they printed throw my. Okay. I still didn't find the fonts though. They printed I just thought I'd find the fonts off. Okay, just a minute. This is the last card I had handy. So let me just grab some. I have my box right here. Instead of pausing, let's just see if I can grab a few. All right, sorry about that. Okay, now I'm disorganized here. Here, these are kind of a set. They all glaring. That one is. Actually, these, occasionally I put them in frames and hang them up. Kind of cool. Okay, he can, and they printed you. Oh, they printed not my. Where do we want, and they printed where do. Yep, and they printed nope. Need I say that's the opposite? The bottom, and they printed the is bottom. I made that one. The is bottom. Okay. What do you? And they printed we. 2 mini journals, as in TWO, and they printed 2 TOO. Too many journals, which I think they're trying to tell me something. That's probably true. I haven't done, and they printed I've known. Dullsville, this is close, but it's pretty funny. Dullsville, and they printed Adultsville. I made that one too. I just thought, and they printed and so. Enough of, not for. We're off greeting cards, and they printed we're awful greeting cards. That's not very nice. Statue of Liberty. Statue itty bitty. That's cute. It's crooked. They printed that's good. They don't know me very well. I would never say that if it's crooked. All right, we're gonna grab some more. It's out of, and they printed inside. Now, what is that? Glue book was a loose book. Oh, I made this one too. Rubber stamp and washi. It's rubber stamping washi. Coffee dyed notebook is coffee dynamic. That's funny. I don't have, and they printed, yeah, that's not. Cactus was keep this. That's kind of close. Now I don't even remember, and they printed not even. Scrapbook was grappler. Okay. It is, they printed here's. But I was, and they printed by, B-Y. I don't know. We're getting this stuff. It's a little one. And gray. So they printed green. Okay. Junk drawer was a chunk drawer, and then it was juncture. Unless I want this, and they printed this, I'm gonna, with the gunnas again. Closed caption wrote thank you when I said absolutely nothing. That's interesting. I made that one too. Old book page was foreign once again. As I said, I got a few of those. I don't know what that is. This was a card, but I matted it so it would fit in a frame. Okay, what do you think? Those are too big. It printed, what do you those are think big? Maybe it's some sort of like puzzle, you know, scrambles the sentence or something. And I don't know if they're doing that. I don't know. Maybe. And I got I'm gonna be once again. Print, they printed pronouns. Actually, they printed I wish. I have dark blue, and they printed hey. Zip it and glue, they printed zipping blue. I have them hit him. Zinnias are, and they printed yes, there. Okay, two more, folks. Here. A couple older ones. So we have on that, and they printed in those, do we want, what are we wanting? And then just for the record, it only lasted a few days, a week. They started capitalizing random words such as corners, pockets, birds, furniture. And now they don't do it anymore. Twice I've had the, you can watch your video as you are typing, editing, which is good, so you can listen to it. It just stalls, it won't play. So I have to just, you know, watch it on YouTube, and then as it's going, you know. But like I said, I do this because of all these stupid mistakes. I don't want someone reading it and thinking, you know, I don't know what I'm talking about. Because usually I do, not all the time. But anyway, so thanks for watching and listening. And I know I said this last time, but I am pretty sure I'm not going to do this again. Like I said, it just takes too much time, and I'm starting to run out of things to show you guys. So, all right, folks. Thanks again. Have a good day.